Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Talking with the Gourds. Today I got myself, Chrono, and, as I call him, Trancy Poo. Introduce yourself.
Hi there, I'm the 1v2 or Trance that everybody knows me as, and some more people since I rebrand call me V, but I'm a Scottish variety streamer and Soulsborne hardcore enthusiast and challenge runner.
He does a lot of things.
Do a lot of things.
You're actually also part of a group, if I remember correctly, right? He said
Stream Team,
he
yeah.
said that, yeah. Stream Team, the Firekeepers, yes.
Yeah.
I think you said that a second ago. My brain totally went whoop, right over. But today, what we're going to be talking about today, we have another guest coming in a little bit. But I want to start off today with content. What's that? What is it? What's that to you?
What's that to me?
Yeah, what's that to you?
Taking your clothes off and shaking your ass.
Oh my!
That's content.
taking clothes off, doing a little dance, making a love, get down tonight.
Very much.
Get there. What when you do content, when you see it or hear about it, like, what do you juggle together? Like, what, like, in the aspect of when it comes to, like, either it could be on Twitch or YouTube or all these other different platforms. Like, when you think about it, what do you do? What do you do with it? What does your brain, the brain soup, make out of it?
I think it differs depending how you look at it. If you're a consumer of the content or you're a content creator yourself, if you're a consumer, then, like you say, there's so many platforms that are available for content, so you'll typically indulge in certain specific types of content depending on the platform, because some platforms are more well known for certain types of content more than others. Some of them are very niche for certain things, and other ones you won't typically see that type of content for it. And the same would go for as a content creator, but I think when you're a content creator yourself, you're more watching the content and analyzing it in a different perspective to just a consumer and someone that's a viewer, just a regular viewer, not a content creator themselves, because you'll analyze it a little bit yourself and see if there's, or you should be as a content creator, always looking to improve yourself. So you would definitely like watch a lot of your peers and your competitors and everything to just see if there's something that they're doing that you can introduce into your content. So it's a very more self-analytical viewership from the content creator side of things.
Okay, yeah. I know I've definitely taken a lot of inspiration from you directly. I mean, I've known you for how many years now? I'd like to say, like, quite a few years. 7, 8 years now.
Almost,
I feel like
almost 8, yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I know of, like, every year I feel like I've done something that changes to, whether it takes some inspiration or just taking, like, input for content, even just on every platform. Like, I'm always like, I post something and I hear either it's I don't get any input in it, or like there's ones I'm like I feel really iffy about, so I always like be like, hey, what's your input on this? Because I feel like when it comes to content in the large format or even the small format, you do a lot of homework on it. You don't just do, like, you're not just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw something together and let it AI do it entirely. You actually, like, do a little more research on it. You actually say, hey, this is something. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. And whether it's looking up YouTube videos or watching other content creators or just looking up, like, little tips and tricks, I feel like that's something you like to focus on a lot of the time.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. Like, I like to watch a lot of different types of content, and even if I see something that someone does that I don't necessarily want to do myself, it doesn't stop me from drawing interest into how they did that, and it leads me on to just sort of like looking up on YouTube or Reddit for different resources on, like, how did this person do this? Like, how did they do that transition? How did they do that edit? Or, like, just certain little things. Like, I just find it fun and interesting to learn that information, even if I'm not going to use it myself, because I know people like yourself, like my friends and people through my networking communities and stuff, will usually generally have a good use for it at some point. So I just feel like having that knowledge is useful overall, even if it's not useful for myself personally.
Okay. Yeah, I like to say knowledge is power. So I mean, like, if you really are
Hmm.
involved in that, it really does help out even people you know, because it's like some people don't understand a lot of things, and when a lot of people explain them on other platforms, so it's easy to do your homework and be like, hey, I figured out the easy way to do it.
Yeah.
So we do have our another special guest coming in. He was here the first podcast, and you all know him as Ready to Play Gabe. So we're gonna take a little editing break here. Give me a few seconds. We'll get Gabe in. And guys, we're back. And we also got our special guest, as you guys know from before, the first podcast, Ready Player Gabe RPG, the Gaby Baby. They have returned to us for content. What's that?
Content. The greatest word of all, content.
So to round you up from a few moments you were not here for start, me and Trance were talking about like the ins and outs of the up and downs, the left and rights, content, like as a format, like where it comes from, what it comes from. I guess like small format, big format. Like I was telling how like for me, I always go to Trance for inspiration / input, and even watch other streamers for input as well. But when it comes to like big input, I usually go to Trance because Trance is, as I said, Trance does his homework. He's really good at what he does. He knows what he's talking about, and usually has all of it ready on his platform. So we'll continue with that directly here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know all of us have our own form of content. We talked about it in the first podcast, me and Gabe at least. Trance wasn't there. But this is about like content. Like what's that? Like what is content? What is on any platform? Because like each platform has its different form of content, and everyone has a different way of portraying content. So it's like what is it? What is it?
Let's see. I guess it's like what you're really comfortable with. I guess it's all. I mean, personally, I think it's like what is your strength when it comes to content. Like, what is that makes you like comfortable that you can, kind of portray. Like, it's like, again, it's also like an art. Like, if you're good at painting per se, you can convey it in a certain manner. If you're good at like, there's some that use gunpowder painting, like gunpowder art, and if you're good with that, then it's just a matter of what you're more comfortable with, than to like, I guess how, I don't know. It's just how you can express it in a manner that kind of.
So in a way, like it's art. Artwork is content, and art is like expressionism. It's the way you come at it.
It's how, I guess it's how you can express yourself through the form of content that you want to put out there, that you're happy with. That you could be like, yeah, this is the type that is me. This is me. Compared to, I guess, just sometimes where you feel like you're impersonating someone, or it's not feeling like you, it's feeling like something else that that's not inspired as much. It's just like it's a copy and paste thing, like we said before.
Yes.
That will also kind of sometimes lead you down a road of I guess imposter syndrome, something like that. So
yeah.
No,
I definitely agree with that. I think for the bulk of it, where a lot of people sort of step into content for the first time, they have someone that inspired them to do it. They will have a content creator that just sort of like gave them that mental nudge and like, I want to be like them. And initially, we've all been there. You will have someone that you try to initially imitate to begin with, and you sort of try to find your own self as you develop. But it's like you say, like a good point is, I think referencing content and drawing it back as like an art form is probably the best way, because no one is a good artist to begin with. Everything improves over time. Like you were going to make mistakes. You were going to be very terrible in the beginning. No one is great to begin with. Like Queso is a great example of that. One of the biggest content creators like currently in our generation right now. And if you look at his first content, like uploads and everything, because obviously he farmed TikTok before he even hit a live button. And if you look at his early content, like compared to his current content, it was tragic. Like it was terrible. But
Mm-hmm.
he refined it and he spent the time analyzing himself. And I think that's a really important part as you go through is being very critical of your art form as you go through, but be humble about it to yourself as well. Don't be overly critical. Don't try to compare yourself to other people as much because it is very heavily saturated in this day and age now compared to it was like 5 years and 10 years ago. So I think just trying to take the time, be a little bit humble over how you develop over that time and don't focus on things like numbers and everything like that. Try to improve something with yourself every time. I think like the biggest piece of advice I usually give to newer streamers and newer content creators, and not just newer content creators, even well veteran ones that have been streaming for a long time, is you should be at least trying to fit in some time to watch back your VODs, and you should be finding one thing every time you watch it back that you can improve. If you feel like there is nothing you can improve, then you need to find people that can guide you in things that you can improve and give you good constructive feedback because there is
Mm-hmm.
always something you can improve within your content. That is the only way you're going to be able to develop as a content creator.
That's completely true. I mean, I know you've told me like sometimes even like watch like other people's and other friends' past VOD videos to see and like see their input and see if they notice something or tell them something. I know if a few. I feel like in the past, not lately, but in the past, there would be some things you point out and be like, "Hey," and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay," and I look into it and then either I improve it or it stays the same. I don't remember. It's been so long since like I think you've directly done that for me, but I know you usually if you don't join my streams, I know you usually tell me you kind of try to put them in the background and listen in when watch them afterward just to help and support and be that a help of support the content, as a fellow streamer and a fellow friend, just it's a good way to like also see things and hear things like especially when it comes to like that one right there, you might be like able to record do your stream or make a YouTube video. Trance was mentioning earlier, it was with I don't think it was on stream direct or on this not stream on this recording already, but he mentioned like mic quality. Mic
Mm-hmm.
quality is a big thing because on Twitch you don't want to get like the highest quality mic because Twitch isn't gonna render that bit rate. It's not gonna render it correctly. It's gonna be a lower quality versus let's say somebody record for YouTube. Trance would actually be able to explain this a little better, but that's another form of I guess what something you can always pay attention to, look back on, be like, what can I do to can I change his gain up a little bit? Can I turn it a little bit down a little bit? But I'll let Trance do a little bit of explaining there.
Yeah, so I won't get into the overly technical numbers with everything, but I will say like the biggest take of everything that I can say to you is no matter how big you are, how small you are and stuff, you don't need the best equipment to do stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can make the cheapest mic sound very good through a lot of different filters you could use with OBS, for example, or you could use other third-party softwares like SteelSeries Sonar, Elgato's Wavelink. Like you can do a lot with that. And the same with webcams. Webcams, you don't need a 4K DSLR camera that's costing you in at like $1,500. You
Yeah,
can make
Gabe.
a
What?
cheap $50 webcam
Excuse
look
me.
really good.
Yeah, no, Gabe
You
doesn't
can-
use a 4K camera. I just wanted to have him.
yeah. But you can make webcams like look really good with just a couple of cheap, nice lights in the background just to accent and separate yourself off from the room around. Like there's a lot of things you could do, and there's just such a wealth of information. YouTube is YouTube University. There are so many resources and people teaching you all of this stuff because they've been doing it for so long. It's free advice. I suggest you just go out and look for that advice. Pick
Yeah.
one thing each week or each month, however you want to do, and just pick one subject. Like, okay, I want to improve how my webcam looks. Okay, just focus on that. Go research a lot of people. You will come across the same names. I could give you names. I'm not going to give you the names of these content creators because you will come across them because they're very well established in that niche for you to come across. And the same for like microphones. If you want to improve your microphone sound, then there's a lot of different people that will give you that. Us giving you that, and that podcast it'll just extend the time and not really help you and overcomplicate things. And
Exactly.
the best way to improve is to develop the skill to go out and look for it yourself.
Yeah, like if Trance turned on his light, you wouldn't see him anymore. He'd just be all white because saturation is so dark. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh wow, Chrono, that's just wow. And he's the host, everybody. This is what we do. We throw shots at each other for no reason.
That's the fun
Growth
part.
from the host.
That's the way you do it.
Yeah, no, that's it. Also, like, I love that too, Trans, that you mentioned that, because nowadays with streaming, the first thing we automatically like think about is we have to have like the top tier type of like equipment, which is not really what we need. Like how I was explaining it with the last podcast, and the way how me and Chrono started. Well, Chrono, we said the
We
same
thing,
thing,
exactly.
right?
We literally started with PlayStation 5.
We started
4.
with PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 camera, and their share feature, and with a little like tiny like headset mic like this one, just like the one piece.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started out. Like even like the top streamers that we know now, they all started from square one.
Exactly.
So I mean, my advice, same thing would be, one, you don't have to have the greatest like equipment out there right now. Start small, then eventually upgrade. That's also something I tell to a lot of newer streamers too, that even go YouTube, look up some tutorials. There are some really good tutorials out there. There's one that I listened to as a podcast as well, but it's no longer on Spotify, which was, I have it up here. It's called Twitch Playbook.
I remember you telling me that. Like I think we did a while back.
Yeah, twitchplaybook.com.
They took information from our book of Kappa. What?
It's actually a really good one. They have some for beginners, for branding, for community, discipline, engagement, for experts, for gaining follows, sometimes hard truths, hosting technology for intermediates, low cost, motivation. Like there's so many different
those are always nice
different sources.
But in my opinion, I always like to try to tell people too. It's like you can always read those kind of things and be involved with those kind of things, but don't take them to heart. Like, because as soon as you take them to heart, you're taking someone else's thing and making it like not making it you. You're gonna, if you follow it to the T, you're not expressing yourself to be give the content you want to be. Like that's how I always feel. Like I always be like, people always ask me like, what do you do like this, and I'm like, I'm just me. Like I don't do anything. I don't hide behind any other little fancy cameras. I don't like to do that personally. No shade on PNG tubers or
judgment.
VTubers. No judgment, shade. Yeah, nothing like that.
No judgment.
But for myself, it's like I don't like to do that. I like to just be me, be in front of the camera, and be myself. Like that's all you can really do. And if you bring yourself to the table, that's what people come for, especially in the content side of things. Like you look at all these big YouTubers, big streamers, like so each have their own style. Yeah. Like we got some big names. They got their fame and noticeability from like the competitive games they play. They have their fame from maybe the style of fashion they dress, or the way they play Pokemon, or the way they play any other game. They keep their viewers and make that content based on that. Maybe usually because they fall in love with that, and that's their love and passion for that is what drives the content. And then that's my opinion on it. I mean, having a Twitch playbook is always nice, but like I feel like if you follow it to a T, you're not really being true to yourself.
Well, that's how he kind of like gave the name of it. So I mean, it's his own, but um, it's a nice little like resource. Just in case, like it's available like on iTunes. They had it on Spotify. Spotify I think took it down, or they took it down. I don't know what happened there.
It was Trance.
Whatever,
did it.
whatever the reason, whatever the reason, maybe he might have switched it. But that's the one I've read. I've not read it, but I've listened to it. Um, a lot of other things are out there. Twitch for Dummies is another one. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes the cover or the way that's worded may sound bad. But those are very big, good. Like those are really big, like really good resources to go to. That's how I started. Like I didn't know much about Twitch. I bought it and just went through it and saw some stuff and did my research. Um, and just went from there and just also saw other streamers and how they interacted and you know and I remember there's also different a tutorial as well on YouTube that also said the same thing. Don't be afraid to also go back and look at your own content and see what you can improve on. If you do a VOD,
as Trent just said too, so.
yeah, go back and look at it. It may feel cringy, it may feel weird because you're like, that I just did that, and you're looking, you're like, I could, like, why am I doing this, or why did I say that? That's you're personally going in and like critiquing yourself, which is good, because on camera, when you're streaming, you're in the moment. You live in the moment, and it's harder for you to catch these things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go back and you see it, you're just like, oh, this happened, or I should have done this, or why did it sound like that? And
did I really have that thing in my tooth the whole stream? Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like, did I not check that? Like, I remember my first ever stream when I did it. I was hearing the game, but no one could hear it. So I'm there singing to one of my favorite songs, and they can only hear me, not the music. And I'm just like, why did I do that? Like, oh my god, like they could not hear anything. I'm over here looking like a complete fool, and I'm enjoying myself, but they're just like, the hell is going on?
That's hilarious.
Had I not gone back and watched it, I would have still been going like that for the next couple streams till someone comes up and tells me, hey, your game's muted.
But they could just been vibing with you. I mean, like they can be like, this guy's a vibe. Like, I'm not gonna say nothing. He's vibing. He's singing. He's having a good time. So I mean,
like that too. But from a content creator standpoint, you're just like, oh my god, like
existential dread in that.
You start panicking. You're like, oh, the perfect moments of content. It's there, but it's not how you wanted it to be there.
Yeah, and that's why it's always fun when being a content creator is also too, like when it comes to content, you're always gonna have your scuffed streams. Trance has been there for plenty of mine.
If you haven't got any scuff in your stream, you're not streaming. I'm just going to say that.
Right.
Yeah, you're not streaming right. They're always, every single time, no matter how meticulous you are, no matter how good a checklist you have before you hit that stream like button, there will always be something that goes wrong. There will always be something that goes wrong. Whether it's a case of you coming back from an ad break and you're still muted and you just go on a tangent. You're not even looking at chat. You're just like focused on the game. You're just giving this whole like 10-minute spiel because you're just very passionate and your whole chat's just like going crazy, just saying muted. But you're just like there. You're not focused. You're not locked in. You just sort of like, then you look at chat and you're like, wait, I've been muted for the past 10 minutes. What do you mean? Why did no one tell me? But they've been telling you, but you just were ignoring them.
It's fun when you have people in your. It's fun when you have people in your voice chat with you when you're doing that too, and they're like scene, and you're just so focused, and you're not even thinking about it. So you go like 3 minutes of being like in your ear, being like scene, and you're not in the right scene multiple times over. Like I've had a Dana come in and like will be there and be like, Chrono, scene, and I'm like, oh. So I'll start playing the
I did it to
game.
you last stream that you were doing. You do it all the time. You're
I
terrible
do.
for it.
I do.
You are terrible for it.
I
Yeah,
get
I'm
so
just like same
fixated.
thing. Yep, it's like there's parts like in like when you stream like yeah like that like you could be like I remember one of my friends, she plays a lot of Marvel Rivals, um and she was so or at the time she was playing Overwatch, but she was so into it, and we're just like we're like watching her and we're just like scene switch, you're on the wrong scene, switch. She's like, oh my god, I forgot, and just switches it, and then we're just sitting there laughing, which I'm like, it's perfect, it's like a perfect like thing, like you're getting the reaction, but you're just like, I want to see what is she reacting to, or what is the person reacting
Mhm.
that we want to react with you.
Yeah.
So
And then another fun moment for me
Yeah.
was with the scuff streaming for content and the content side of things. Is I remember a stream I was playing Prince of Persia, and my mic I guess went haywire, and Trance was there. I think Trance was the one who clipped it, and I just sounded like a chickmunk. It was like,
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
I hated those. Oh my god, I hated when that happened to me. That happened to me.
and it just
I hated that.
Trance is like, translation or like English.
But the thing
Sure.
is, like you said as well, Gabe, like these
Mhm.
scuff moments that you go through as a content creator, and you will go through them. Like I say, like if it's not a scuff stream, then you're not streaming really. Like
Mhm.
there has to be something. There is ways to turn it around to make it fun, unless it's
Right.
something where like your PC's all of a sudden starting to spark and it's setting on fire. Then yeah, there's a little bit of an issue. There's nothing really fun there. There's a serious situation. But there is
Yeah.
things like there might be muted, not changing the scene. Like if you
Mhm.
have a good community around you, whether it's one viewer, 20 viewers or something, they will
Mhm.
like I think everybody's got to a point where they've been in a lot of different content, a lot of live streams that they've experienced that a lot. So
Mhm.
the viewers will know a good way to handle it around you, and you can have a good way to play it, and you can use it in your content like every now and then, like because I'll have like maybe 2 or 3 streams where I've accidentally left myself muted and I've come back and I
Mhm.
went on a tangent. I've had to explain myself. Like every now and then, like I'll do it on purpose with my community. I'll come back and my mic's not muted. I'll just be like, I'm currently everybody in the podcast can't hear that, but I'm lip syncing. But you could
Mhm.
just play up on it. You could just make it look like you're accidentally
Mhm.
muted, and you could just play a joke on your viewers and everything. Like there's many ways to turn a a crappy situation into a fun situation, whether it be
Right.
clips and other ways of different short form content, or you can make little alerts with it with your community and stuff. You could do little cool redeems. Like there's a whole
Mhm.
wealth of ways you can turn a bad situation into a good one. So I would never like get yourself down when things start going wrong. Like there's always an up to it, even if
Yep.
it's not initial. It might be something you look back in like 2-3 years ago, and you'll just be like, you'll find it funny at that time because you'll be
Yeah.
like, holy damn, they're like, I used to be like that. That's how I used to stream. That's how I used to create content. Like, God, I used to be terrible. But you'll have a way to reflect on it at that point and just go like, look how far I've come since then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a whole like that's why I said like last podcast I'm just like there's moments where you just have to kind of take a step back and remember where you came from.
Mhm.
Like that's one way, like I was saying before, with content you start having, like I said, imposter syndrome, you start having self-doubt, you start second guessing, but there's a point where you have to stand back and look at the bigger picture and be like, hey, like this is what I'm doing, this is how I started. Remember your roots, remember how everything started out. You started with a dream, with a desire and a dream.
Mm-hmm.
You started to work on said dream. You started simple, the most simplest things, a computer, a mic, however you started, with that, and you just grew from there. Like I know a lot of people tend to think like they tend to keep clips from their first stream. I'm one of those people. I look at it and I hear how bad my mic was, or I see how peaking I was and how much I was screaming. And I look back, I'm like, to now, and then you just see like the joy in your face,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, what happened? Or is it still there? Can I get it back?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was I doing back then that I can bring to now? Like the baby streamer to now the adult streamer, me, type of moments.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So look at like, and also in a way, look at your content as a form of growth, as a form of like self empowerment. That's another thing.
What's that? Oh.
Well, if you need to know what self empowerment is basically
Is you take a
look at
copious
it.
amount of drugs?
No,
Don't do that, kids. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Just
what is
masturbate.
it?
That's better.
Yeah,
Not that. What it is just in a sense, look back and be like, I did that. Like right now with like graduation season, so I don't know where you're at in your life. If you're a teen, if you're a teenager hearing this, or you're in college or whatever profession you're in, step back and be like, like think about that moment, the moment where you accomplished it. Like for me was the day I graduated high school, which was I was the first of my family to graduate. You take a step back and you're just like, I did that. That was me up there. Everything completed here and start a whole new chapter. Had I quit before then, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. That's your moment to use that as a matter of pushing yourself beyond your limit.
But
If you
also
think
know if
that
you
like
do end up quitting, like
uh-huh.
especially in the content format or even the streaming format,
It's fine.
It's not
No,
bad. It's not negative either.
it's not.
Like if
Yeah,
it's not if
it's
it's
not.
just
It's not frowned upon. It is a moment where you need to recharge your battery. Um, like I remember an analogy to this, but I could butcher it wrongly. So please don't don't come after me for it. But it's
we're
the
gonna
same
come
thing.
after you.
Like
We're coming after you right now. Yeah,
it's
guys.
like the
Yeah,
same. Like
you're at the house. Okay,
oh god.
they're on their
Uh,
way in.
it's like like an eagle, for instance. Like when an eagle knows that his talons start coming out, like starts like wearing down, or when their feathers like start like they can't use them anymore. What do? They separate themselves. They take a moment to themselves. They start to like transform themselves differently, or they come back stronger than before. But it takes time. It's not one day to another. A transformation doesn't. It's not spontaneous. It's not you to wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna do better. Like, yes, the drive is there for you to say it. That's the first step. You have to have that drive. Second is, what are the steps you personally are going to take that is going to help aid you in that, um to aid you to the goal that you want to achieve, especially in content. If sometimes it comes to a hard realization where you're just like, I don't want to look at my past VODs, there's a point where you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you could fall into the same things that you've been doing for the X amount of years that you've been streaming, and still continuing down the same path that was either can be destructive. You can implode your own content. You can wear yourself down without you even knowing that you're doing it.
Exactly.
And like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's Don't ever see it as a bad thing. See it from another perspective. And if people come to you and tell you like, you could have done this better, or you could have done that, don't take it so much to heart. As a streamer, it's very easy for you to take it personal, because it's yours. It's what you put out. But if
You're
you
always going to
surround
be
yourself,
the worst
yeah,
critic.
if you surround yourself with with other content creators who got to know you and you made bonds and connections with the community and networked and asked them, hey, like, can you check this out? Can you do me a favor and see what, like, is there something I can improve in? Is there something I could have done differently? Like, what do you think? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna tell you, we can tell you, but at the end of the day, it matters. What do you think? Are you happy with it? And of course, we're gonna say yes, we're happy with it, but sincerely, are you happy with it?
Yeah, Gabe, are
Is
you
this?
happy with it? No, I'm just kidding.
I'll be honest. There are days I will say I'm not.
Good.
I can do like I can do the greatest, like, say, Kingdom Hearts stream. I can have the most greatest stream, but at the end of the day, I'm like, am I really happy with the way that it came out?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that I could have done differently? Is there something that I could have done that would have, like, brought more engagement to it? Where most of the time when you play a story based RPG, you just want to sit there and be in, like, with what's it called, in radio silence. And there are other times where you see other streamers, they'll interact, they'll go crazy, they'll just keep engaging. And it all, like I said, it the end, it all boils down to, is, are you happy? Are you happy with the content that you put out?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you willing? Is there anything you see that you can change? Are you willing to change? If someone gives you their insight, are you willing to accept it?
Are you able to accept criticism as well? Because
Yep.
criticism is a big thing, especially, and it might not always be negative. It's always criticism. It
Yep.
can come in all formats, and if
Yep.
you can't accept even any form of criticism, I mean, are you really growing as a person? I
Right.
I
It's
always like
that.
criticism personally, because it's like, if they're willing to tell me something and criticize what I'm doing and like be honest with it, it's because they're
Mhm.
trying to be like, hey, you could probably fix this a
Yeah.
little bit. But like, I got like, that's why I always go to Trance personally for a lot of things. Like, I'll be like, hey,
Mhm.
input, and
Yeah.
then
See,
he'll
it's
give
it's
his
always
input.
good. It's always good to have, like, a supporting system, because you can do that. You can always go to the person, and for, like, without a doubt, they will tell you, "Hey, this is kind of this you did this a little wrong. Maybe try to do this next time."
Yeah.
Um, it's also how I told one of my friends too. It matters on, as a streamer, you kind of have to just kind of open yourself up to this. You have to slowly kind of accept the criticism. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna bring you to the point where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But if you're going, it's if you're gonna do that, then, as many would say, and unfortunately this does happen, and if it hurts, I'm the type of person that, if I will say bluntly, are you sure you're in the right career path? Are you sure
Yeah.
this is what you want to do?
Yes.
And that's
I always
also a
say to
point.
people, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
if you're taking, you have to be able to take feedback, whether it be good constructive feedback. So like for Chrono, because we have a good relationship and friendship, like
Mm-hmm.
I will give it to him in a good constructive way. But because he's a friend, I won't just say like, okay, this was a little bit okay, but I think
Mm-hmm.
you could do this to improve it. I'll do it in a different way with Chrono because we have such a good relationship. I'll
Right.
say like, ah,
He's
this was shit. Just fucking
he's
dump
more
that,
he's more
get rid
blunt
of
about
it.
it,
You
which I
could do
really
it better
like.
like this kind of thing. Like,
Right.
but it doesn't matter. Like, it depends on the friendship you have with the person or the people. But at
Exactly.
the same time, I will say for everybody, you are putting yourself on the internet. You are making a conscious decision to make yourself vulnerable as soon as you go on the internet. And I say vulnerable because there is a lot of trolls. The
Mm-hmm.
internet is just full of keyboard warriors, people that could hide behind a keyboard and a TV that will never have any consequences apart from you maybe banning them from your platform to never come
Right.
back in again. But they just don't care. That is not a consequence to them. You have to be able to wear an iron shield and develop that iron shield. And be able to distinguish between the people that are giving you that constructive feedback and be able to take it, whether it be hard on you or easy on you or whatever. But you need to be able to identify the people that are giving you it in the wrong way. But you can still look at it in the right way. Like if they were saying something, it might have been like a very trolly, a very nasty and malicious way they were saying it. But if you do look at it, like sometimes there might be a little something to it. But again, take that with a pinch of salt.
Mhm.
Like you have to develop a good analytical process for that kind of thing, I feel.
Very true. Very very true. So I do
Is
have one
Mhm.
one final, I guess, question, I guess, for our what's going on here. We can come back onto that topic another time, I think, because it's, I mean, that the topic for all of that last topic we were talking about here, it can go on. We can have another
Yeah.
full on podcast about like mental health and the side of and content creator, because that really does come a lot with there, because like, where are you when it comes to like mental health and creating a content creator? You really have to know where you are, and if you don't,
Yeah.
then that could be a really big issue. Which we could, like I said, we can always come back to that, because that we can have another whole conversation about that one. So, but we're gonna move on from that one for now, and then I'm gonna ask one of my final questions for today, which
Mhm.
I came up with while we were talking about. Um, when it comes to content creation, what is your, I guess, your input in opinion on small form content creation from large form content, making small form content from larger, like you, like as they say, like they have clips you post it on reels, shorts, TikToks,
Mhm.
whatever. Like, how do you go about it? What's your standby on it? Your point, how do you stand by it? I don't know how to word it correctly,
Um
but that's what I'm trying to
like in a form like how is it best to put it out there compared to like putting like a whole like a highlight reel technically kind
yeah,
of like that.
yeah,
I would say like in my opinion I would say when you're gonna do clips get the moment like for me I put clips where I'm like epic moments or like anything funny or anything random that I say like something that I was proud of or anything that you find that someone else will enjoy.
I'd say even
Um,
funny or weird, because I think one of my
yeah, funny, weird, anyways.
I literally
Um,
did out of nowhere. I remember when it was a Schedule One clip with Trance, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, Trance doesn't poop," and Trance played on with it like for a whole like, "Oh yeah, no, no, no."
mhm. It's a manner of like it's like like for instance like let's take a movie trailer for example. Like you want to put moments that will that will grab the person, and then eventually show them the bigger version of it, or show them what was where it really came from. Like there's a clip, and I'm gonna post this one later, on TikTok, but there's one that I did of me playing Rivals, where I grabbed someone and I was like, "Listen, slam," and then a sound clip goes off, which I thought was funny because it was timed perfectly. But it's one part of the bigger video that if they want to watch it, it takes you to the VOD. They have to find the VOD to see it. So it's a little sneak peek of what was said, and maybe in the bigger one is where they will find the rest.
That makes
So
sense. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean personally, small clips are like if you're starting out, I would say small clips work better, especially nowadays. You're able to post it up on TikTok, on Reels, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, like anywhere that allows a clip. You can always take different clips of the same video from the same VOD and post it up in different areas because not all of them all have to match.
Mhm.
You just cut one piece of the bigger cloth and just present that. And if you're happy with it, then you'll find out that the majority of the people who watch the clip will come to see you.
True, true,
They'll
true.
want more. They'll wanna. It's like for like another example. You go to a party, they give you a small sample of something. You savor it, and you go back and you want more of it.
Yep.
Gummies. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like gummy bears or like candy, whatever your favorite thing is that you like to go to that lures you into like the set, like to the said thing. That's what it is. That's what your clip should be. It's just be something like savory, something that that someone will like. If it not, it might not be the whole entire spectrum of that you're trying to convey, but one person that likes it, they will pass it on to the next person, and so on and so forth. And that person or that group of people are gonna come and be like, "Hey, this is the person that I saw. This is them. Like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
Like, give me more." So I'd say clips are are personally a lot better um to bring out as content. Long videos, don't get me wrong. Highlight reels, all those reaction videos are perfect too. But you have to know to what crowd you're going to kind of like um I don't know, kind of like I'm trying to find the word. Um kind of bring it to, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like what audience, there we go. To what audience are you trying to attract?
To reach
So,
to, yeah.
yeah, to reach to. That too.
And it is a difficult thing to get as well, because trying to reach the demographic audience that you're looking for your brand, your niche, and your personality, you have got so much to go up against. So I would say never get disheartened about like your views and your numbers again and over analytical with it, because things like TikTok algorithm, there is no set algorithm. It's just constantly shifting, it's constantly changing. You can watch so many videos about people telling you the algorithm's this for this month and stuff. Like, it's all bull crap. Like, there's not a single person that knows the algorithm, because the people that create the platforms don't even know the algorithm themselves. Like, they have so many AI systems that are self-developing and pushing out different things that match different types of content. And like, it's very difficult to get grips on. Like, trying to work your way around the algorithm
Mm-hmm.
it is like a maze that you can never figure out and no one can figure out in a lifetime. Like,
Right.
there's no set formula for it. There might be people that posterize themselves knowing that they know that formula, but they don't. They already have a viewership. They probably use some of the ads and stuff to promote their content for that piece to make it look more popular, because they're basically saying, oh, this is how you break the algorithm. But in the background, they just paid, I don't know, like $30-40 for extra views getting pushed out on the For You page and stuff. You don't know what's going on in the background with that. That just is there to make them look good, to make people hit the follow button, because, oh, if they're giving advice but they've got so much views, there must be a reason they're getting so much views. They must be a trustworthy content creator. So I would say, like, take it with a pinch of salt. Do again,
Mm-hmm.
like I say, like queso. Just, it's costing you pretty much nothing to upload onto all and as many platforms as you can. If you're already editing a clip for TikTok, you might as well put it on Instagram. You might as well put it on YouTube. There's so many different like ways to upload that into one place that will schedule and upload onto all of the platforms for you as soon as you link them for it. So it takes out that little bit of time. So it's costing you nothing. Upload it, farm it. What doesn't work today might eventually, just in like a month later, 2 months, even 2 years later, for some content creators,
Mm-hmm.
especially on YouTube. Like, a lot of YouTubers will upload hundreds and hundreds of videos, have
Yeah.
barely any subscribers, any views on it, and then it just 2 years later, one of their older videos that they uploaded 2 years ago just pops off. It just hits the algorithm right, and then all of a sudden their channel starts booming. So always upload everything with the pretense that one day it might actually catch someone's attention, and then it just goes through the stratosphere for you. Like,
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
it is a case of luck. There is nothing you can do within yourself to be the big time. Like, you can just
Mm-hmm.
do all you can in the moment to make sure you're improving yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember doing
That's also.
a small like reel, I think, for YouTube. I think it was like, from a game called Magnet Jack. It was a playtest I did for it. When I first
Mm-hmm.
posted, I think it sat there for like 2 months, nothing. It was barely any traction. Maybe had like maybe less than 100 views. I go to realize when the game finally released, I got almost, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 views on that one video alone without even thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so I mean, now the game's released. Now like all the attention's going to it. So it's crazy to see that happen from like almost 2 months ago, and yet like it wouldn't even be on the top of the listing because it's such an old video too, versus like people who've already posted new content, like so somehow in the time that it got released, the game got released, mine was still able to make either footing and get itself on top or somewhere in between enough to get enough footing and say, hey, this guy's video is right here.
Right. It's even that, and it's like what's cool also too is like even with like retro games, same thing. Like I remember I posted a video of a reaction that I did to the ending scene of Final Fantasy 13 10 2. I was expecting, at first, like most of them were like some reaction, like some clip, some TikToks I have don't reach that 1,000 mark. This one went beyond that, and I'm proud of that one. But my others, I'm proud of it too, because it takes courage to post something like Trance said, to post yourself out on the internet. It takes a ton of courage because of how everything goes, how everything is. It's you're exposing yourself
To trolls,
to trolls,
goblins,
to criticism, to people, to so many different forms of communication, of
just don't expose yourself too much. Trance might get capture your feet and then post it on only feet. So I mean,
not on only feet, but yeah, no, you're putting yourself out, and that's the first step, and that's usually the scariest part.
Yeah.
And it's breaking that inner barrier, that inner wall of I don't know what people will say. I'm scared of what people will think of me. When you break that, that okay, I can do this. And the doors are they're like gonna like open, they're gonna be like wide open for you. Like even Trans also said too, like right now with social media, take
my
advantage
door is
of
wide
it.
closed.
I mean, it could be wide closed too.
That door's closed.
It
right
all
now.
depends.
It's not open.
But God dang you troll.
If your friends aren't trolls, I mean, what's the point either? I mean,
are you
if
sure
your
they're
friend
your real friends, or did you buy them?
Exactly. I think,
but
that's always the funnest part.
Yeah, just say it right now, like Trent said, like take advantage of all the social media outlets that allow you to post it, because there's some where you have to pay to post. Don't get me wrong, to each their own. There's nothing wrong with wherever you post it. Like that is the targeted audience you want to reach. Kudos to you. Awesome. You have more courage than some of us that will do it. And it's like even with social media, you also have to know what you kind of have to think about what is your intended target. What social media outlet a lot of people use more, or which one are you most familiar with? Which one do you think will be able to get your name out there? A lot of times also with content creation, when it comes to, for instance, Twitch has a discovery option. But if you look up the said game, you'll see there's like 15, 20,000 other streamers, and you could be at the very bottom of the list. Before they reach you, they could have found someone else that has the same content as you, doing the same thing as you, but could have attracted them to them. So whenever you have someone come in to chat or wherever, know that out of X amount of people that was in the same category, you were chosen out of all of them.
You're the chosen one.
Exactly.
The claw has chosen you. You are the chosen one.
Like that. That's how I think about it all the time. Like when I see new viewers come in, or when I see it, I'm just like, it's humbling, because like I said, they have so many other channels, so many other places that they can reach for content. Like you have TikTok gaming, you have YouTube gaming, you have Twitch, you have
Kick,
you have Kick, you have Snapchat, you have
Facebook.
wherever.
Facebook gaming.
Facebook gaming as well. You have
Is that still
all
a
these.
thing?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I
it's still
keep
a
seeing
thing.
stuff on it
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
it's still a thing. But yeah,
Why?
you
I
have all
don't know.
these. But yeah, you have all these different like social media outlets that offer these streaming services too, and they picked you out of all of it,
I'm
which
your
you should be
favorite now.
proud
You're
of.
my friend now. We're having soft tacos later. My favorite thing to say.
Yeah.
It is a cat bug reference, so anyone who gets that reference, you're awesome. Yeah,
But
content
yeah,
content creation is
that's.
a really big thing, especially in our world. And I mean, a lot of us love it, a
Hmm.
lot of us hate it. I know a lot of people don't know anything about it. Like I've talked to bring it up to some people and they don't know nothing. They're like, YouTube, what's that? Okay. PewDiePie, who's that? Markiplier, what? So it's crazy. We live in our world because we're able to see this kind of stuff, and that's where
Yep.
we find inspiration and find the creative narrative that describes who we are. I think that's
Yep.
the best part about it all. We're gonna be ending up right about here now. If you guys have any final words for anyone in content, very quick, you guys gonna throw it on out here, guys, before we're finishing up, and then give you guys your outro when tell us who you are, and then we'll be ending there. So we'll go with Gabe.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. I thought I was thinking we're going the other way around, but okay. So I would say something that was said earlier, especially when it comes to content criticism, is always know where to look for it, and remember that sometimes there are going to be people that you can trust, but you may never know what their motives are too.
Trance is
There
just
could
trying to get my
be.
feet picked. So it's okay. No, I know.
Because there is a line from a song that I like, right? That I like. I don't know if you guys ever heard of or listened to Epic the Musical.
Nope.
There
I
is
have to.
one where it says friends turn into foes and rivalries.
Mhm.
So you had it also it's a sense of discernment of knowing, is this criticism from coming from them genuinely, or are they trying to also tear me down?
Yeah.
Where you also have to find the truth and find the lie.
Yeah.
So that's something, but just a little food for thought.
Food
Or
for thought.
as they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Exactly.
It's also that too.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's my take with it. So
And who are you?
I wish you guys the best.
Tell everyone who you are and how to find you.
So me, I know a lot of people already know who I am by the last podcast. Sir talks a lot. No. The passionate one. I'm Ready Player Gabe. I go by RPG or Gabe. I'm an LGBTQIS plus streamer on Twitch, and I predominantly play a lot of JRPGs and just chill, vibe, and you can find me at twitch.tv/Ready Player Gabe. Yeah.
And now we got
Trans, your turn.
our other one.
So my biggest takeaway for everybody for the end of this for the day is just go out, have fun. If you're gonna do it, just have fun. Like if you're not having fun while you're doing it, then like Gabe said before, you need to be reassessing if you're doing it for the right reasons and what you wanted to do for it and what you wanted to achieve. But just keep trying to have fun. Keep trying to improve something within yourself, whether it be in your content or just within your personal life. There is always something that you can improve on, like taking away from your content to put in your personal life, or taking something from your personal life and putting it into your content. Just obviously be careful how you do that and don't dox yourself. And you know, but yeah, that's it. Just overall, just have fun with it. Don't take anything too much to heart to begin with if you're just starting out, and just move along with the flow.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen. And tell us how we can find you.
So you can find me on Twitch under the1v2. I'm usually found doing the most craziest Elden Ring hitless any percent challenge at the minute, which is my first hitless challenge run of all the Souls games. And it's quite a doozy, and all the experienced hitless runners all think I'm an absolute insane madman for attempting it. But yeah, if you want to come over and you want to see me enjoying the most miserable time of my life within content, but having fun with it and playing some good vibes of music and everything, and a good community around me, then you can definitely come over and check that out.
Heck yeah. So with that, everybody, that has been Talking with the Gourds. I'm Chrono, your host. These are our guests.
Hold on, cutting this for a second. Hold on. Chrono, you also have to introduce yourself.
I just did.
Where can we find you, though?
Oh, where can you find me? You can find me at twitch.tv/Chrono, KHRONO, over on many platforms. Most platforms, you'll also find me on the X. You'll find me on YouTube as Chrono TV. Most platforms, somebody already took the name Chrono, so you can find me as Chrono TV. But until then, this has been Talking with the Gourds podcast with your hosts, Chrono, Gabe, Ready Player Gabe, Trance, the 1v2, and this is us signing out. Ta-ta for now.
Bye.